I want to welcome you back to the Principals Podcast. It is a new year. It is January. It is the 6th. It's 2022. On today's podcast, we have a large selection of interviewers. We have Mr. Bandera joining us from a French um, bistro.
I think it's raining. Hello,
It's
everyone.
raining. We have Mrs. Bondi, of course, joining us. She is our color analyst.
Hi, guys.
And we have Mr. Chaim over there who has a beautiful mind.
Yo, yo, yo.
Today's guest is
Drum roll.
probably the student that is the first in the building, the last to leave. She has the most energy that I have probably seen out of a student in over 22 years. She loves to be a fly on our wall. It is Josie Aitken. Josie is a senior. She's highly involved in the school. She is a senior that's looking forward to finishing strong for her years here at Chardon High School, but also is not looking for them to go by too fast because she loves Mrs. Bondi driving her home twice a week. So, Josie, how are you today?
I'm swell. How are you?
Josie, what's awesome is that we're having a conversation that we generally have in person, but we're actually recording it. Josie loves to do lots of things. She loves to color. She loves to ask questions. She loves the nations of the world. And she also loves almonds, just to let you know. But she does have such a compassion for people, and she's really intuitive to what's going on in the pulse of our building. She seems to know what's going on before we even know what's going on, which is pretty helpful for us. But Josie, it's now January. It's a new year. You're in the third quarter. Third quarter is always the hardest quarter nationally for all students. In Northeast Ohio, we're battling the weather, but we're also battling being indoors. We're in the midst of this peak that we're facing with the COVID-19 Omicron variant, but we're not letting that change like things that we're doing. So, what are you looking forward to in the second semester?
Graduating.
Mind.
Before graduating, I'm excited to just be a part of things. I'm a part of all the band things, as you all know. I'm band council president, hyping myself up here, but I'm excited for the band concerts, and hopefully if we get to go to Disney, I'm excited to play for the Maple Festival, and that's all so fun, and I'm so excited to do it. So I am excited for that. I'm involved in a lot of different clubs, so I've got a lot of stuff going on. So one thing that I know you wanted me to kind of bring up is we're going to do a small little thing for the teachers towards the end of February, and NHS and probably a few members of Interact, as well as the Corona coloring team, will be helping make and organize. So it'll be a nice little surprise little gift thing.
So let's talk a little bit about the Corona Coloring Club, because you were on before earlier in a podcast, and it was just in the beginning of the coronavirus, and that group has expanded. Like, how did that start, and how is it? I mean, obviously we know how it's sustained, where it's almost like you can't wait for this club to end so you can call it something else. You can just call it the Coloring Club. But how did it start, and like, how is it expanded?
Well, it started when COVID kind of ramped through, and it started in October of last year. I'm the founder, and we wanted to make posters and things because when the school got cleaned over the summer, they had to tear down all the posters and all, I guess you could call, signs of life from the building. And so when we came back, it was very, very dull, and everything was gone. The color was gone. So we took it upon ourselves to start making posters and hanging them up around the building. And so then the name came, the Chardon Coloring Team. But a lot of our posters were significantly aimed towards stopping the spread of the coronavirus. So we made a lot of posters reminding people to wear their masks and wash their hands. And then as the year went on, the name kind of stuck, the Chardon Corona Coloring Club. But this year we're changing it back to the Chardon Coloring Club because we're focusing less on COVID and more on just bringing that color back to the school. It's a great group of kids. We meet on Wednesday mornings, and a lot of times coloring happens in between like classes and stuff. So like we bring ideas. And last year we focused on teacher appreciation for the second half of the year, the second semester. And we made posters that went in the staff bathrooms and around the school, reminding the staff how appreciative we all are for all the hard work they do for us. I mean, what they do inside the classroom and what they do outside the classroom is phenomenal. The staff at Chardon High School are accommodating and nice, and it's a great school. And so we had to show that. And then at the end of the year for Teacher Appreciation Day, the Chardon Coloring Club, Corona Coloring Club, and NHS worked together, and we made cards for individual cards for every single staff member in the building. And we accompanied it with a Yoda cookie because the day fell on May the 4th, which is Star Wars Appreciation Day as well. May the 4th be with you. And so they were themed around Star Wars. And it was just a way for the teachers to see that we really appreciate everything they do. And then this year we were like, let's keep it going. It didn't need to be a one-year thing. So we make posters for clubs, for spirit weeks. And right now we're working on that special little thing in February.
Mr. Bandera, I believe we actually earned a 2 in that category for PBIS last year.
2.5
for that work.
2.5 it was.
2.5. So, Mr. Banderas, we've been talking a little bit about, keeping safe and everything. How are you? You're recovering from a bug, right?
Yeah. The COVID, one of the variants hit me over the break, but it's getting better. We're recovering here. My son also tested positive, so he's also napping, but he barely even coughed. So he's doing good. So
that's good.
Josie, are there donuts at the Corona Coloring Club every day, or the Chardon Coloring Club?
Not as much this year as there were last year, but we are going to start bringing them back again. Last year, myself, I would go and I'd get Duncan because the group is, it's about a dozen kids, sometimes less. And it's just, positive enforcement, there's like the Pavlov term, thinking about coloring makes you think about donuts. So more people would join. So we kind of use psychology on that one, but hopefully we'll bring back donuts this year, hopefully.
Okay, maybe I'll have to swing by on a Wednesday.
Mr. Bandera, we've been really following our code of conduct, and in the code of conduct, it says you cannot bring outside food into the school. So we're working very hard to follow the code of conduct this year, and Josie's been an example for our students here.
But I wrote that thing, so I can put exceptions in it.
Why
Right,
it's
'cause
complete.
you're allowed to parties. You are allowed parties, and I guess we can just say every Wednesday's a party.
Yeah. Either that or ask the cafeteria staff if they can make you some donuts. They can expand their horizons.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new steamer.
You could steam the donuts.
It'd be interesting. So Mrs. Bondi, you are an assistant principal that connects a lot with Josie Aitken. You are a Lyft driver, an Uber driver, a couple times a week. You also are #1 in our fan club because I believe you were holding our senior banner for a long time.
I was just going to put that statement in there myself. I'm Josie's #1 fan, I think. And the funny thing is that banner got taken down, and then Josie made her way back into my office and put it back up. So we get to take it. We got to take it to its rightful owner yesterday or 2 days ago, home to her house so that her mom and dad could enjoy it. Where's that hanging now, Josie?
It's in the basement in a really dark little area. So when you turn on the lights, it's the first thing you see, and it's so awful.
I told you that you needed to put it right by their switch in their bedroom. So when they turned on their bedroom light, then boom, there you are.
Yeah. First thing they see in the morning, last thing they see at night.
Or laid on your brother as like a comforter at night.
You can get that made into a comforter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
Mr. Murray knows where you can get things like that made. He's gotten many blankets made for others.
Shutterfly would be a good place. You could always use it as a tent too outside.
Mr. Pantera. It just
I was-
looked like you just like fell down out of your
Yeah,
chair.
there's blanket.
I was grabbing my blanket.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I was
Grab my
worried
shouting
about you.
blanket.
Josie, I appreciate everything about you. You brighten up our
Aw.
day at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, and throughout the day with
Aw.
all of your visits.
Well,
Um,
I do visit a lot.
Yeah. And the
I would
nights,
say probably 2 hours a day.
yeah.
Yeah,
Some
fair.
of it's before school and some of it's after school, but it's at least 2 hours.
Yeah,
She
I do the announcements, so I have a reason to be in there in the morning. And then in the afternoon, I'm just, checking up on the school, doing my executive council duty to check in and advise.
what is tomorrow's theme for music?
That's a great question, actually, because I was thinking about that earlier and I thought, I could play Christmas music and annoy the whole entire building, but I thought, no, probably not. Not a good idea. I was thinking we'd go back to the decades since it's a new year, maybe playing 20s and 10s music this Friday, and then next Friday, the 30s and 40s, and so on. And then I'm going to send out a Google form for all the Chardon students who want a music suggestion, and we'll put it through and we'll play it over the speakers another following Friday.
20s and 10s. Isn't that like Chaim's year?
He turned 50 this year. So
Oh, no, I did. It was last year. Let's get
Let's
it correct.
he
see.
did 50 last year. Yeah.
Last year.
2021 minus 50. That's like 1920. Math.
We do like math. We bring up math.
That's
once
why
a
math is,
podcast.
here we go. It's well documented. Every podcast, we talk about mathematics. That's
We
how
do.
important math is.
Heim didn't get any sleep last night because he was doing math problems all night.
Good Lord.
So, Mr. Hyam, you and Josie have a special relationship. You kind of banter with each other. You pick on each other in a very fun way. Do you have any questions for her, or are you going to play a game with her today?
I'm going to play a game with her, and we're going to pivot off of the chicken or steak, and we're going to play a game called What If. So I'm going to ask you a what if question, Josie, and then we'll see how creative you are. And where you would go with this. All right. What if no one hears a sound? Does it still exist?
That's a good question. That's the old, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Being someone who loves music, I'd like to say yes. I think that when no one's around, things make sound. Because, how else would you explain ghosts and scary movies,
What if you were the president of the United States?
See, that's not a what if, because my goal is to follow law. And, the law field takes a lot of people into the office of president, and into the Supreme Court offices and stuff. And, being president wouldn't be too bad, be a kind of chill job. So I don't think that's a what if. I think that's plausible. It's a possibility. Josie for 2050, I feel like it's got a nice ring to it.
I don't know if many people would describe the presidency as a chill job, though.
Would you give us a shout out your first day in presidency?
I think I would, because for a while there behind Bondi on that whiteboard, she did, in her own words, say that I was going to be president of the United States. So I feel I would give you a shout out and invite you to the White House and take you on a tour.
We
Awesome.
appreciate that.
Can I have a cool cabinet
I might
position?
need a wheelchair at that age, but we'll see. Josie, what if you were at a bank and robbers came in?
Oh, I would sit on the floor and do what they told me to do, because I'm not about to go and jeopardize other people's lives trying to be a hero. Knowing the banks of Ohio, they got great security. If this was a rural bank, no police officers, he's got a weird, it's just one guy, maybe I'll go for the legs and tackle him down. But no, probably I'll sit on the floor and do what they say.
Okay. Yeah.
Play it safe.
You talked about this earlier about ghosts. What if a ghost haunted your bedroom at night?
I'd be kind of creeped out. Knowing that people are watching me sleep, that's a little weird. That's reserved for Santa Claus, I guess. But I don't know. If I knew that ghosts were in my room at night, I probably would change my room, because it's a little scary, just a little bit.
I feel like you would make friends with them.
I feel like I would too, actually, Bondi. I think that'd be pretty cool to have like a specter as a friend. You know, be like,
Yeah.
what are they saying over there? That'd be kind of fun.
So Josie, imagine this: you're riding home with Miss Bondi, and you hit a car in the parking lot, but no one saw Miss Bondi do it.
Oh, that's a good what if, because you know it could happen. It still could. I mean, I probably won't. Bondi's a good driver, but I feel like we'd stop and leave a note and then keep driving because she's got to take her kids to ballet and I got to get home, and you know, so like I feel like we'd leave a note, and like there's security cameras everywhere, so she knows the implications of not leaving a note. So like we'd be good.
She also knows where the security cameras are.
Yeah, true.
I definitely put some hearts and smiley faces on there too, so that they wouldn't be mad at me.
What if you saw your zipper was down and people had noticed?
See, that's another great question right there. I've been in that situation before, so this is also not a what if. This is I would slowly turn around and be very embarrassed and turn very red, zip up the zipper, and go back like nothing had happened. And if anyone questioned me on it, I'd say they were simply delusional, and I would gaslight them into believing that had never happened.
Yeah.
I fully believe that.
All right, here's the last one. You really got to think about this one. What if you were a tree? What would you say to those who walk by you?
Ooh. Now, this is interesting because, like, are you talking about, like, the trees in The Wizard of Oz that throw apples at people? Or just, like, a tree?
I didn't say about throwing. I said, what would you say to them?
You can be any tree you want to be,
Not what
Josie.
you would do to them, what you would say to them.
Okay, this is terrible, but it's the honest truth, and this is what this is. This is an honest podcast. I would really like to mess with people and say, the government is watching you in, like, a whispered tone. And like as they walk by, just creating paranoia, all sorts of paranoia. That'd be pretty fun. But also things like, you know, like nice dress or nice shoes, but also like the government is totally watching you and your family and like, yeah, scare some people.
Do you believe birds are real, or are they government drones?
No, yeah. Exactly.
That's
Murray, I gotta ask one more and then I'll turn it over to you. Josie, what if a turtle didn't have his shell? Would he be homeless or naked?
Well, aren't turtles?
Go about your
shells? I'd say I think he'd be in the nude, not necessarily homeless, because you can give him like a box to live in. But he doesn't have a shell. He's in the nude. He's running around nudie-doo, you know. You need to get him a home and a pair of clothes.
So please forgive all our listeners out there if you have wild dreams now after listening to Josie present what she would do. What ifs? Back to you.
That was some of your best work. I actually composed the worst of the worst chicken or steak, just 4 of them. Can I say them?
please.
Okay. So
I
Josie,
guess I'm losing my job. No. I mean, what else is there needed to be done?
So Josie, you have to pick one. And
Okay.
these are like things that nobody would want. So you have to pick one. All right. Would you rather have no company or bad company?
I don't do well being alone, so I'll take the bad company.
All right. Would you rather have stained clothes or wrinkled clothes?
Wrinkled.
I'd go with wrinkled too. Stained
Mhm.
might get a little smelly or something. Nosy neighbors or loud neighbors?
Nosy neighbors, because I'm nosy too, so we'd just be friends.
Yeah. I feel like that would help. And then bad breath or body odor?
Bad breath, because all you need is gum or like
And
just
you
a quick trip.
Put a mask over it today.
Yes.
All right. That's it.
That's it.
I had to go worst to the worst because, I mean, you're just a different person, Josie. You bring us smiles all day, every day. So
That's my job. See,
Yeah.
what they're not telling you on this podcast is I am the student vice principal. I am elected by these principals here, and I serve as the student vice principal. It's 100% my job, and I have a whole paycheck that goes with it. It's 100% correct. I am a vice principal myself.
Why
What
stop
if-
there? Why not go for the head?
No, that's Murray's here too long, too often. He was here over break. I could never. No.
Josie, what are the chances we have a snow day tomorrow?
Dismal.
Okay.
I miss the snow though. Ugh, I remember when we used to have snow days. Long, long time ago. I can still remember.
You'll have
Is
to
that
tell
when
your
you
children
walked to
about it.
school 10 miles and you went uphill both to school and to home?
Yeah, that's exactly it, Chaim.
Mr. Heim, Euclid is pretty flat, so that is not true unless you're over by Grand Boulevard.
You know what? Euclid is a little hillier than you think because of the how Lake Erie receded. There is that you get to Euclid Avenue and you got to go up the hill anywhere on south of Euclid Avenue. So there's a little climbing in Euclid, but not like the hilltoppers. No.
Look at that transition. Josie, it's always awesome to have a conversation with you. This time we're doing it in a recorded manner so people actually believe that we do speak to you. Because what's going to happen after this podcast is you're going to be in one of our offices singing something until someone drives you home. But it's the third quarter. And I think that's kind of the purpose of this podcast, is to be lighthearted and enjoy the company of others in the time in which we're living in this still almost year 2 of the coronavirus. And it's tough to be connected, is to always connect with people. The whole purpose of the podcast that we built over 2 years ago was to create connections with people. And that's what we love doing the best here. And to make the third quarter the best is to start off on the right foot. So for all of our listeners out there, the third quarter is challenging, but the third quarter is really important. Doing the little things and creating those habits and routines of the little things over the course of 2-3 weeks that will turn into positive things, not only with your choices and your actions with how you treat people, but ultimately on how you can maintain the right start for the third quarter academically. So in the week in reflection, we talk a little bit about that. And we wanted Josie on today because she really embodies what we love about our students. She connects so well with adults. She can connect with her peers. She can, walk the walk with Sean Carr and then hang out with Theo Johns playing music. She connects with everybody. She does not judge. And that's why we love talking to Josie on a daily basis. At this time, I'd like you to think about someone you want to give a shout out to on this date in history as we transition into the third quarter in January. Someone you want to give a shout out to as we begin this week coming up, which is short, a 4-day week that goes into a PD day, then goes into Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which I always loved my entire life because it was that perfectly placed break in January. And you're also observing probably one of the coolest guys that has ever walked the planet. So who would you like to give a gratitude to? Josie, we'll start with you. Okay, you need some more time?
Do.
All right, well then I'll start because I've had this in my mind. My shout out is to Mrs. Bruce because she is Mrs. Hilltopper as a parent. She loves this school. She loves her kids. She goes to all those activities, and she stopped me over Christmas break while she was selling popcorn as a basketball mom. And she's like, I love your podcast. I listen to them all the time. And I don't even care what you guys are talking about. I just listen to them. And so I'm giving her a shout out for listening to these podcasts, but also just for being a great person in our community. So my shout out goes to Mrs. Bruce. But on a side note to that is Mrs. Vuaclia, who also listens to these and also recognizes all the work that we do because her kids are also rock stars. So those are my shout outs today. Any of the helpers on the interviewers would like to go?
I'll jump in. So these two are connected. I'm not sure if it's the chicken or the egg or the chicken, but
I thought they were steak.
well, you got to mix it up once in a while. New year. shout out to our nurse, Sarah Parks, and to our head secretary, Jen Sprinzel. What these two are facing on a daily basis with this, the COVID variant and everything else that is wrapping, itself around us as a community. The two ladies have been upbeat, positive, running with whatever they are given at the moment, trying to make this building still work behind the scenes. So I truly appreciate and sending gratitude out to those two ladies for what they're doing for us.
No
I'm
doubt.
going to jump on and I'm going to thank Mrs. Ellen Clark. Mrs. Clark is a good friend of mine, one of the intervention specialists at Charlotte High School. And I don't know how she survives most days. She has 4 very little girls at home, twins and baby. And I don't know, she usually gets everything done, and she does a phenomenal job doing it and always greets everyone with a smile. And you could tell her one year, hey, you're teaching all math classes this year, and she'll be like, okay. And even though she's afraid of math, and but I appreciate her and everything that she does.
That's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to shout out Mrs. Blackburn. I think I did that already once this year, but we've truly been working a lot together lately on different things. And I just really appreciate everything she brings to the table to support all of the students. I mean, if I could duplicate that woman, I would do it. So I think that's where mine goes today.
She would definitely be a #1 draft pick in a school building.
Yeah.
The work that she does covers the work of 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
And now she helps kids is tremendous.
Can one of those
Josie?
chemistry classes clone her?
Chemistry classes clone her?
Clone Mrs. Blackburn? Come on.
That'd be
great.
That would be
Josie,
a wonderful
that's your
thing.
senior project, Josie. You don't get it done, you don't graduate. No pressure.
That means she'll be with us even longer.
Let's be careful with giving Josie projects. I gave her a project the other day, and I'm still waiting for the completion of that project. Just saying, Josie.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so shout outs are weird because you want to shout people out, but you don't want to leave other people out. So my shout out's going to be a general public kind of shout out. Really, I said it earlier, to the staff of Chardon High School, the teachers, the custodians, everybody in this building does such a good job of making it a home. I'm here, like Murray said, one of the first people to get here and only one of the last people to leave. And every single day I'm greeted with smiles by teachers I've had or I haven't had. And I know I can count on so many people in this building if I'm having a bad day to just like sit down and talk, or like just to talk with. It's so nice. And, being a senior, I've had most of the people in this building. So I'll wander into their classrooms and they'll just be inviting, and the staff really, it's phenomenal here. I love coming to the school, not to learn, but to see everyone. And, the learning is important, but it's the friendships I've made with my teachers and my peers and the staff here. It's truly amazing. And so I thank the administration as well, because, it wouldn't be possible without you guys. Murray putting in all those hours. He has an hourglass in his office, and it's supposed to be 4 hours, but for the amount of time he's here every day, it needed to be like 12 hours. Chaim for keeping me on my toes. Thank you. Bondi, you're so fun. I love coming into your office, and you'll just stop whatever you're doing to entertain me, even when I'm not supposed to be in your office, but actually in class. And Bandera, I know you left us and everything, but I miss you, and your ghost is still here. We know you're still here. And so I thank everybody, because this school's awesome, and being in all the clubs I'm in, I get to meet with everybody and see everybody. And I know a lot of people feel the same. They just don't have the opportunity to say it. So thank you.
That was very presidential.
It was politically correct, not leaving anyone out.
Nope.
So you are 18, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I am. I'm an
You are
adult
18.
now, Murray.
So what's the official age that one has to be eligible for the president of the United States? Isn't it 40s?
36, I thought.
35.
35.
35.
Yeah.
So that's sooner than later.
Well, I mean, I got to go to college. And I'm probably going to go to grad school. And then I'm probably going to get my law degree. And then you got to do some work in the political science field before you actually go on to political science. So I'll probably do some state work. And then, my dream job is to be a political campaign manager. So I might fiddle around in that field. And then from there on, I'll be president.
And we will go back to this podcast on that day, and then we'll regroup like a reunited apart, the same group. I will probably do the reverse and have hair in that time. Everyone else probably look Bandera. See, you're transparent. Like you it's like watching Back to the Future at times, like you disappear and there you go.
Oh,
There's the ghost. There's the ghost that Josie
the
was
ghost of
talking
Bandera.
about.
Yes.
Josie, it's absolutely awesome having you on our podcast. We enjoy you in person every single day. Certainly, we love seeing you, and we know that we're going to have some really great days coming up as we prepare for February here in Chardon, and then ultimately as we move on to the spring. You got the Beauty and the Beast that you're going to be participating in, which will be awesome. It's been there. When's the last time we had a musical in person? What show was it?
It was not Grease. It was the one after Grease, right? No, it was Grease.
It was Grease Lightning.
It was Grease. Yeah, that
All
was
right,
my
so we're looking
freshman
forward.
year.
We're looking forward to that. Josie, great seeing you. Rest of you, see you in a couple hours. And then when we come back for Friday, peace. Go
Bye,
Toppers.
guys.
Stay healthy. Bye.
Go Toppers.